So, genius too. If you want to nurture a genius child, 1, get them off TV. 2, get them off video games. 3, turn them on to music like Bach, Mozart, the classics. Closets. Don't introduce so many closets. 2, that was a Freudian slip. Where am I? 4, get them in drawing and painting. 5, what I'm doing now is doing a book a day. Just throw on an audiobook on history and hang out with your family and play backgammon and chess and then just let the book just rotate through the house. You don't have to even listen, your subconscious is picking it up. The subconscious is powerful. There's this story about a race car driver that saved his life, and the reason they were coming around this curve. He was in a race, and he said he saw the face of the crowd through like split seconds before he reached that place, and he knew his subconscious picked up the facial expression of the crowd, and so he slowed down just like a millimeter, a second, and boom, he came around the corner and saw that there was a huge crash, and he had gained enough insight in a split second to slow down just enough that he could avoid the crash, you know. So that's genius. That's genius reflexes that saved his life. And these are conscious and subconscious activities where we're taught not to listen to our subconscious mind. The subconscious speaks in terms of images and feelings. And the conscious mind speaks in languages and words. So when the subconscious sends an image, you can't always rely on this because there are other things happening with biohacking and what's going on with organisms sending pictures into our minds and stuff. But that's that is definitely another vlog. But just the natural flow of unconscious imagery flooding the conscious imagery. And it's a natural phenomenon called imagination. But like one of the books I read, the Machiavellian, he says that imagination is the death of cells. Like they're actually dying, and that explosion of death is creating all these psychotraumatic experiences in our third eye. And possibly could be true, but he wrote that book in the 1700s. We know a lot more now. Neuroplasticity and everything. So when your subconscious naturally taps into your conscious, it will tell you what it wants. You'll see a picture of like a spa day with, a salt scrub and some tea, or and then your conscious mind will be like, man, that sounds really good, right? You had a communication between a natural flow communication. This is genius stuff. This is what geniuses do. They listen not to other people. They listen to their inner guidance, telling their conscious mind how to live their lives. So that's why parents screw kids up. They don't allow the child to have a free-flowing conscious imagination because they're afraid. Oh, this child doesn't know any better, blah, blah, blah. Put him on pharmaceuticals and run for your life. Our child's gonna kill us. There's like so much fear, and it's bogus fear that pharmaceutical companies and indoctrinated bullshit threw into your family life so you could be afraid of life. Life is not a disease. Ain't no disease. Life is a gift, and if we have a little bit of deathophobia, meaning we're all gonna die, then that's just life, man. That's natural. Natural. So, talking about allowing your child to free flow, allowing it to happen, you'll see your child will, you give him these tools. Again, I said, get him off of TV and movies, violence. That's criminal. Get him off of video games. Get them onto books and history. Get them off pharmaceuticals. Let them go outside and play. Be watchful, of course. And introduce them to the best. Now, this is if you want to allow your child to flourish as a Renaissance woman or man or person. And you've just now given them the correct tools and the right guidance to self-educate. And that's how, for me, that's what I did. I just self-educated. Still is self-educating. You can't rely on the schools. Can't rely on the doctors. Everybody's, like I said, one banana can kill a person, another banana, is fine. So, study. That's one thing I learned from my mentor, and it's true. It's true. So, when allowing your child to flourish and becoming a genius, fleshing out the unconscious with the conscious, this is called balance. This is a yin and yang alchemical experience that your child is now having, completely natural. It's not a disease. Imagination, when properly used, is a gift. Now, when you flood your child with too much violence from TV and pharmaceuticals, of course they're going to be serial killers and pathological and abuse and all this stuff's going on. Like, no, man, no bueno. But also you have to understand society is afraid of geniuses. They need the geniuses, but there's like an innate fear of genius because geniuses are genies of society. So we have to live in a world where we know how to nurture the geniuses and then not tear them down. This whole thing of conformity, that's a ploy to keep geniuses from flourishing. That's what tall poppy syndrome is. It's just the desire to cut down anything different, anyone out of the ordinary, and anyone who is achieving and excelling. And that's a real deal problem throughout society. It's a misunderstanding of education. So all of this you can teach your child, because when they learn music and they learn art and they learn languages and they learn to travel and they learn all of this stuff, you know, it's like they become real assets to society. An asset to society. You know, not a menace to society, an asset. We want to build assets. We want to build incredible minds. And we don't want to belittle them. You know? So, good luck. I think it's important to nurture our children in the best way we can. And that's just some of the things that I do. Okay, much love. Bye.